Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, has God said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden? Why did he select the woman to speak to, question, and not Adam? Could it be that he was seeking the weakest link? The tactic and the ways of the enemy is to find out what our weaknesses are, and that's where he attacks. And by selecting Eve, who is the weaker of the two, he tries to go through the weakest point to try to get a foothold, to try to break up. Other question that I had was, and the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. Genesis chapter 2, verse 9. And out of the ground made the Lord God to grow every tree that is pleasant to the sight and good for food, the tree of life also in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. In the midst of the garden there were two trees. There was the tree of life in the midst of the garden, and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. And when she said to the serpent, But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God had said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it. She didn't distinguish which tree. Why didn't she distinguish? Why did she bring them together as if none of those trees, neither one of those trees, you shall eat of the fruit? Why didn't they eat of the tree of life? In Genesis chapter 3, verse 22, And the Lord God said, Behold, the man is become as one of us, to know good and evil. And now, lest he put forth his hand and take also of the tree of life and eat and live forever. Therefore the Lord God sent him forth from the Garden of Eden to till the ground from whence he was taken. So he drove out man, and he placed at the east of the Garden of Eden cherubims and a flaming sword which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. He put like guards to guard, angels to guard the tree of life, so that man would not come and take of that fruit, or else they would live forever. They never ate of that fruit, like even from the beginning, before the fall, before eating of the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Did they never take the fruit of the tree of life? And why not? If they were given permission, that they were granted access to all the trees except for one tree, why didn't they eat of the fruit of the tree of life when they had it available to them? And now after the fall, they're prevented from it. They are no longer able to eat of that fruit. The question is, when she was saying to the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees in the garden, but of the fruit which is in the midst of the garden, we may not eat of it. But she didn't specify. She wasn't specific, because there are two types of trees in that midst of the garden. And I don't believe things are happenstance. I believe that there is more of a significance, a meaning to that. And it's something to meditate on.